Hi, my name is Cody Hamill, and this is my 4-minute presentation for Interpersonal Communication, Professor Brevard. My article is on a off-duty police officer who is taking his son to school in Gainesville, Florida, on March 9th, 2016. He was on his way taking his son to school when he saw a vehicle erratically driving. He then proceeded to pull the vehicle over. When he did so, he approached the vehicle. He was wearing a bulletproof vest that said police on it. He went up to confront the driver, and when he did, the driver pulled out a gun and shot him. Fortunately, he was critically wounded, but fortunately his son, who was in the car, who was 14, was not. The undercover officer returned fire. He did miss. Then the subject, 19-year-old Kevin Rojas, then proceeded to run away, and he then stole a car. It was specifically a flatbed truck. When he got in the flatbed truck, he proceeded to drive, trying to get away from law enforcement, but using witnesses, they were able to find him. They proceeded to follow him into a residential neighborhood. When they got there, he drove the flatbed truck into one of the residential houses. Then he got out of the car and tried to run from police again. Police followed him into the house. When they found him in the house, he was holding a gun. The 2 police officers that found him had told him to drop the weapon. He refused, and at that point he was shot 4 times. He was sent to the hospital to recover for his injuries, and he is alive. The officers were put on administrative leave while this is under investigation. He had a minor previous arrest record, which was nothing crazy. The gun was legally owned by his roommate. The reason his roommate bought the gun was because he was acting erratically lately, and she felt unsafe. The mother offered a statement to the news and to the police saying that he was not violent previously. And so my reaction to this is that this officer having his son in the car making this stop, he shouldn't have done it. He should have called for another cruiser to come make the stop and the arrest or whatever. Doing this with his son in the car, I feel, was very, very reckless, I guess. He really shouldn't have done it. I don't know if he was trying to show off for his son or whatnot. It is good that it said police on his vest. If he was in an unmarked cruiser undercover and he didn't have police, it would have been a whole nother issue. If he just pulled him over, it would have made things a lot worse. The roommate should be held accountable because she didn't keep the gun from him, which doesn't really make a lot of sense because she bought the gun in self-defense of him because she was afraid of him. So you would think that she would take the action necessary to keep the gun from him. But the fact that she didn't, I think she should be held somewhat responsible. The officers were definitely justified in shooting him if the suspect has a gun and pulls a gun on you and you tell him to drop it. If he doesn't drop it, then there's definitely an issue there where you need to protect you and other law enforcement. Why don't you videotape the rest of the audience again? Get the second one in there. They should be on administrative leave while the 2 officers that shot the suspect, Rojas. They should be on administrative leave, but only temporarily until it's figured out. It shouldn't take long because it was pretty justified. It's not one of those situations. When Rojas does recover from the injuries he sustained from the full 4 shots, he should be tried, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Thank you.